Ho, I'm upside down and I'm all right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Q&A with yours truly, Zee Garcia. Hello. Hello. For those of you who were hoping to see a little what's happening this morning, I apologize to you. This guy right here is the bane of my existence today. Actually, I think it's a software on the computer. But that it was not working. Everybody's been updated. Everybody is squeaky clean, and it's still not playing nice. I just ran a test not 15 minutes ago, and it is still not playing nice. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I'll keep messing with it. Give it some time to breathe and think for next week. We'll see. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on with these questions. Hit me with any questions you want. Before we do that, however, we got a little giveaway, folks, for a $10 certificate for Game Nerds. You want to, if you want to be entered to that contest, you want to email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, write the word Opal, as you see there on the screen, Opal. And then in the body, tell us your name, all of that good stuff. And I'd like to hear. I want you to let me know in the email itself. What is your favorite game that begins with the letter O? What is your favorite game that begins with the letter O, like Opal? And this, of course, being a little nod to my Unsung Gems series of games that I have been doing. It does not have to be an unsung gem, just your absolute favorite game with the letter O. And that's it, everybody. So good luck to you. Let me go ahead and catch up from the beginning here, see if I missed anything. I'll leave the contest and subject info on the screen for a moment, just so you know. All right, let's see. Da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba. Just reading. Hello, hello, Monica. Hello, Loopy. Hello, Mr. Millstream. Talking about winter stuff. Oh, because my thumbnail is all wintry. Yeah. Winter is coming. This morning was nice outside. Very nice. Not cold by any means, but a little less scorching, let's call it. Let's see. Antoine Schwartz says, I want Bad Company now after Z's review. It is wonderful. It is a wonderful, wonderful game. There we go. Let's get rid of that stuff. Okay. And Nick, I'll go ahead and answer this right now. Let me make sure these can go on the screen. There we go. Okay, so Nick is asking, what was your favorite play during the False Funtacular? I don't think it's what it's called, but that works. It was probably Bad Company, actually. I really enjoyed that quite a bit. That's a fun game. It's easy to play, easy to enjoy. I think we played that live. Did we not play that live? Maybe we didn't play that live. I played it right around that time. If not, then it was, I think, Dreadful Circus. It was super fun. All right. Let's see here. Questions. Jacob says, if the Dice Tower were a worker placement game, what would your meeple look like? What color? It would be yellow. That's the color I tend to play with. Yellow or orange. I think I want a nice yellow meeple. And what would the meeple look like? I want to have a meeple that is panicking. That's what I want. So a meeple like kind of holding its head. I want to see a meeple like that holding its head. Or like, oh, woe is me kind of pose. Because they all always look very composed, right? They're like ready to go. So I want a meeple that's freaking out a little bit. Vanessa, you don't have to own a game that begins with the letter O. Just pick one you like. Okay, let's see. Etienne, I think I'm saying your name right. is asking, "Hey Z, hello. I wanted to know what you think of Fort's expansion Cats at Dogs. Here's what I think. I want to play it. I haven't seen it in person yet. I've not been able to get my hands on it. It looks super cute. I want to try it out, but I haven't been able to." All right, let's see. I don't know if I have a good answer for this, but I'll throw it up on the screen because your name begins with Z. Z Vonk. Z, what's the biggest game you like to play solo? What is the biggest game that I like to play solo? Oh, I have a good answer for that. Okay, so it's going to be the one with the Nautilus and oh, what's his name? Captain. What is that game called? You know what? Mike DeLisio, if he's in the chat, is about to answer for me. Um, I'm blanking on that title right now, but the Tom's outside talking loudly. Anyway, you're Captain Nemo. That's it. Nemo's War. That's what it's called. Yes, my brain is garbage. Nemo's War, second edition, is my favorite big solo game to play. All right, let's see. Let's keep looking. Nick wants to know, Z, better trilogy, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, or Matrix? That's actually an easy one for me. Back to the Future, I think, is the best trilogy out of all those. I am not as big an Indiana Jones fan as it seems most people are. I think the Matrix trilogy is pretty uneven. The first one is amazing. The other two have their moments, but I think Back to the Future is a brilliant trilogy. Even the third one, yes, I think is a great, great movie. All right, so David M is asking, what D&D character class is your favorite, and which character class do you relate to most in life? I'm not a huge D&D fan. I'm not as well versed in it as many gamers. But whenever I get up to some role playing, be it D&D or whatever, I want something that is like a bard or like a bard. That's the one I think I relate to most. I just like the idea of traveling minstrel kind of vibe, having whatever instrument I have, being able to use that to heal, use that to hurt baddies, to weave magic, right? Whether it be just simply music or actual magic. So for me, Bard, that's the way to go. This is an interesting question, Mark. Hey Z, can you compare your experiences at conventions before and after you started going professionally? Yeah, I didn't go to a whole lot of conventions before I went professionally, but the main difference would be just kind of the like anonymity of it, right? Being able to go to a convention, weave my way through folks. It's go see whatever game I want to go see, yeah, get out of there and go see something else. And then now if I go somewhere, obviously going professionally might mean we have a booth. That's a whole other ball game. Setting up a booth, helping run a booth, breaking down the place. But then also just if I'm going to go somewhere, I want to make sure I say hello to folks that I know, or somebody might stop me along the way and say, hey, maybe they want to chat, maybe they want a picture, something like that. So just making sure that I give myself enough time to do whatever I need to do makes for a little bit of a different experience. Valorian, that is very sweet about the humor. I'm glad you enjoy it. The question is really, it's a long write-up, but it's basically, have I thought about being a comedian? I don't know what you mean. If you mean like an actor or a stand-up comedian or what, I do have an acting background. Not really a comedian background. It's not the same thing. But I guess plainly put, no, I haven't really thought about that. This is going to fit on the screen, barely. Daniel is asking if I've played the new Year of Moloch Hiroshima Hex. I have a copy of it. I have not played it, technically. There's a couple of different things in there, but really it's the same game, right? It's kind of a storage for the game and all of its apps, or I'm sorry, expansions, all of its expansions, or many of its expansions. It's a gorgeous box. I think I will keep the box over my 3.0, but it's also really expensive. I don't know if I would necessarily say you got to get the Year of Moloch instead of getting just 3.0. I don't know. I think it's a special celebration. If it's like your favorite game ever, you're going to want it. But I don't think it's necessarily something to blindly jump into. Also, there's been a decent amount of pushback on the way they made that insert. You can go on BGG and read up on some of that. All right, Nick, you're on fire today. Nick says, Z, what do you expect to come from the upcoming Z is Wrong event? What do you think they, I love how they is in quotes, will say you are most wrong about? I'm expecting it to be a lot of fun. Actually, I'm gonna try not to be within earshot while they're recording, so that I can do a reaction video. Hopefully, going in completely, fresh. What do I think they will say I'm most wrong about? I don't know. Some esoteric little game I really like, and they don't probably. I have no idea. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to just see what they say. I hope that they, go all out, have fun with it. They. Hmm. Nemo's War. Yeah, thank you guys. I'm just getting to the Nemo's War stuff. I was just blanking. Mr. Millstream says, what mythical or fantastical creature would you like to have as a pet? That's a good one. Mythical or fantastical creature would I like to have as a pet? I'll tell you what I wouldn't want to have, a gelatinous cube. Just leave a trail of goo everywhere. Got to always be cleaning up after it. That can, your stuff gets lost. And you're like, where? Oh, Jelly took it. Give that back. You got to, give me back that iPad. That can't be good. It's my least favorite. My favorite. Something small, something cute, but also something that's a fairly smart pet. So I don't know if I want to have necessarily intelligent conversations with it, but yeah, something like that. Something cute and fuzzy, and I can't think of what that thing might be. I don't know. If I think of something, I'll come back to it. Okay, Colton says, do you prefer teaching a new game to others or being taught something new by someone else? I prefer to be the one doing the teaching, actually, though I like to prepare quite a bit to teach games. I ideally have already read the rule book more than once, I've played the game already, and I've put my thoughts together as to the best way to teach this thing. That's ideal for me. Okay, this is a good question from John Flea here. Will you do Hidden Gems top 10 after you end with Azu through Z? I probably won't do that. It's a cool idea, but it's sort of like it would be a top 10 list to a series. It's a little too meta, maybe. People might find that top 10 out of context and go, what's he talking about? What hidden gems? I have to go and watch 27 videos to figure this out. And the reason I do say 27 videos is because I've also been asked, will you do an Unsung Gems video with, after A through Z, with numbers. Games that begin with numbers or some other character. And I will do that. I'm going to do that at the end. Normally it might be something you do at the beginning, but I wanted to start with A, B, C, kind of get everybody used to what I was doing. So I'll come back around and do the numbers at the end. Chris is bringing the heat over here. Do you prefer learning from a rough rulebook or learning from a rough teacher? That's a cool idea, actually. It's an interesting question, and I'll take the rulebook instead of the teacher. With the teacher, a rough teacher, there's other things I'm concerned about. If I'm having a really hard time learning the game, and things like, I don't want to hurt this person's feelings. I don't want to seem like a jerk if I'm asking them to repeat things that they did not explain clearly. With the rulebook, I can reread it, I can get angry, I can go back in, I can pour over it at my own pace and sort of experience the anguish that is sometimes a really bad rulebook without worrying about someone there and eventually me just sort of giving up and being like, okay, yeah, no, that's great. But inside I'm thinking, man, I have so many questions. I don't really know what I'm doing. Pele Wolfo is asking, are you aware of any Days of Wonder releases this year? I don't know. I don't know. Have they announced anything this year? There's always something coming out from them, right? Like a map for Ticket to Ride or something. I really don't know what's coming. Haley is asking, do you play an instrument or are you musical since you gravitate toward bard characters? No, I don't play a musical or a musical instrument. I have been in musicals, so I guess you could say I am somewhat musically attuned. I like to mess around and sing. I'm not a great singer by any means, but I like to mess around with it. I enjoy musicality. I think that's what I like about it. But because I don't play an instrument, then obviously the fantasy role-playing aspect goes into it. I'd love to be able to play an instrument, many instruments, all of them. And so, it feeds that fantasy of being not just in a fantasy setting, but having skills that are a fantasy to me. So I think that's why. Gator Dave, hello, hello. Jacob says, do you have any gaming recommendations to celebrate Halloween? There's lots of good games for that out there. Horrified is a good one. I haven't played the new one yet, but the old one's great. So Horrified is one that's not too demanding, not too challenging. Fury of Dracula is a good one, of course, but that's a big epic thing. And there's just so many, spooky games out there, or that have spooky themes that are great for that. I know the new Patchwork Halloween edition's about to come out or just came out. Thematically, that's a thin veneer, but that could work if you don't have Patchwork and maybe want to try it. Yeah, there's a lot. That one's actually fairly easy holiday to find something that fits that, right? Christmas or those holidays, that's a little bit trickier. All right. The Fancy Filmmaker says, do you guys still play games with Jason? I haven't seen him on the channel in a long time. Yeah, absolutely. Jason's still around. We play with him all the time. He's been busy, so he hasn't been on video. But, yeah, he's still around. I've seen this kind of question crop up lately. And everything is fine. Nothing is wrong with Jason and us. He's around. I think I answered this already, but will you do a reaction video to the next top 10 that the other guys are doing? Yes. That's the idea. At some point, I will react to that video. I don't know if I have a good answer for that, so I don't know if I'll throw it up on the screen. But I will anyway, even if I can't answer it. Any solo game that stands out lately on your table? Lately. I think the last really neat solo game that I played, reviewed, and enjoyed solitaire was probably The Dead Eye. I did a video for it, so you can check that out. It's a solo only game. It's a little card game with a very cool look, and as a kind of Mad Maxian sci-fi, vibe to it. That's a good one. I enjoy that one. That's really different. It's a tricky game to understand because it's sort of a weird game, weird little card game, but I enjoy that one. So, The Dead Eye. All right, Etienne is asking, what games are you playing these days, Z? Well, it's always something for work. So I've been playing Gargoyles, that Disney Gargoyles game. I'll be reviewing that this week. This weekend, I spent a good chunk of the weekend playing Vagrant Song, which I'll be reviewing again, I think, this week or next. Most likely next week. Soon. That was the main thing. And then I need to get into the new Robin Hood game, play some of that. Unfortunately, several of these are big campaign games, so they're going to take some time. But that's been mainly what's been on the table lately. Trevor's asking, hey Z, I know you enjoy your fair share of CCGs, TCGs. Have you had the opportunity to play Flesh and Blood? Now, I haven't. I've heard about it. I know it's a fairly new trading card game. Apparently it's doing well. I don't know, but I have not played it. Pretty finicky with that stuff, to be fair. Collectible card games or trading card games are an investment, not just money-wise, but time-wise, to figure out the system, to really come to grips with it. Look at this guy, Gator Dave. Candy corn, just bad or absolutely terrible? You know what? I think candy corn is okay. Is it great? No. But I don't think it's that bad. I don't even think it's bad. I think candy corn's okay. Is that an unpopular opinion? According to Gator Dave, it is. But I don't know. I think it's all right. They keep making this stuff. How bad can it be? That's a terrible argument. Ignore I said that. Kevin's asking, do you have more decks of playing cards than you have games? No, sir. Not even close. I don't know if you guys saw on Instagram, I put up a picture of this new piece of decoration, I guess it is, display case that my lovely girlfriend got me, and you put it up on the wall, and then it has a door with glass in it. You open that up, and you display decks of cards. You might have seen that. Maybe that's why you're asking. So in there are 60 decks or so, and I've got many that didn't go in there that aren't lookers as much, right? But no, I maybe have 100 decks of cards or so, and I've got 500 plus games, so not even close. All right, let's see. Da-da-da. Let's see. What are we talking about? Pets here. brain from Pinky and the Brain. Have I tried Motai and I with expansion? There's an expansion for that? I used to own that game. Am I thinking of the right game? Yeah. I used to own it. I played it. I don't... If there is an expansion, I'm not aware of it, so no, I have not played with the expansion. What Days of Wonder game would I like to see reprinted? Now, that's an interesting question. I think for me, I would have to go with Mystery of the Abbey. I would like to see Mystery of the Abbey come back with some polish and some tightening up. I used to have Mystery of the Abbey. I loved the look. I loved the vibe, the setting, the theme, right? I thought it was a little too silly. Some of the stuff that they put in the game, just because, again, the style of game, or the designer's sensibilities are very silly, which is fine. But I didn't like some of like the chanting that you were supposed to do, the answering in rhyme kind of stuff. Those things I felt detracted instead of helped. I like the mystery. I like the ooh, you know. So if they brought that back, tightened it up a little bit, made it a better game, not just a funnier thing, I think I would really enjoy that. So I guess I want to reprint with an update. Do you have a recent favorite video game? Well, recent here is a tricky one because I'm way behind the curve when it comes to playing video games, usually. My last big game I got into and thoroughly enjoyed, and by I mean, and I did not when they came out. I mean, this was, 6 months ago, was um, Assassin's Creed Origins, which is already now 3 Assassin's Creed games ago, right? Because after that was the Roman one, and after that was the Viking one. The Viking one is fairly new. So those 2 I haven't touched. The one before that had an Egyptian setting, right? That game is amazing. I love that Assassin's Creed Origins game. It's not recent, but it's recent to me. Newer than that? No, I don't know. I really want to get into Psychonauts 2. I know that's very new. And I really enjoyed the original one. I think those guys' sense of humor is fantastic. I love the way they put games together over a Double Fine production. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. I want to get into it. I want to play it. I love the characters, the story in those games, but I haven't yet. These kinds of questions are so hard because if I had time to go and look through my list of played games or owned games, I could give you a good answer to something like this. Can you recommend a 6 or more player game? I always think these kinds of questions are just going to be better served if you go to BoardGameGeek.com and ask there. That hive mind is going to give you way better stuff than I ever could, I really don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. In my head right now, everything that's mostly in there is reviews I just did for games or things I'm playing now that I need to talk about soon. Everything else is way in the back. Oof. Monica is asking, do you own at least one game in every letter? And do you have a game with solo mode in every letter? I think the answer to the first one is yes. I doubt the answer to solo mode is yes. I don't think so. I'm a pretty picky solo player. I'm definitely pickier than Mike is. I've got good taste. That's the main difference. But besides that, he plays a wide range of solitaire experiences, and I really don't. I have a very specific kind of solo game that I tend to enjoy, and they're usually not big, epic Euro games with a solo mode. They're usually games that are more to occupy 30 minutes and not necessarily something that I wish I had other people, but I don't, so I'm going to break out this big old game and play for an hour and a half by myself with bots and robots and a bunch of rules dealing with my missing, companions. So it's a different thing, really. This is interesting. Hi, Z. Questions. Since Pandemic is your favorite game of all time, wrong. I've changed that. Have you done any customizing, custom virus tokens or research stations, minis, etc.? No, I don't think I have. I'm not super into changing stuff. One thing I'll change is that I'll pursue is if a game has coins and I can change those for metal coins, either the company makes metal coins or there's a close enough substitute, then I might do that. I love metal coins. I think they add so much class and interest to a game. I don't know why that works for me, but it does. It makes the game feel richer, right? Which I guess is a pun. But other than that, changing resources for fancier resources that look real, I don't normally like doing that. And just a ton of customization is not something I do a lot. The one thing someone sent me for Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu, someone sent me these little tokens that are amazing, and they go on the gates when you close them. And it's, I guess, that FOMO, not FOMO, but whatever that clay is that you can mold and bake, right? It's kind of like that. It looks like that, but it's extremely well done. It's not silly at all. And there's like an eyeball in it, and they're color coded. So you put that in each of the places when you close them. That's small. It's beautiful. It's right in the box. So, but I didn't do that. That happened to me, and I thought they were fantastic. Kara DJ says, "What letter haven't you done yet for hidden gems that you're dreading the most? Like Q or X? Both of those are going to be tricky for sure. I just had to do my first one for J, which is not even that rare of a letter, strange of a letter, but I just had to do my first one where I only made 4 picks. My next one, I didn't feel comfortable with putting that in there, Either I forget what it was, if I didn't like it enough to really talk about it, or it wasn't that rare. So I just went to 4. So I'm not guaranteeing on all of these that there'll always be 5 picks, right? There'll be 5. I think I'll cap it at 5, but I might have fewer picks than 5. So we'll see. Q might be tricky. X is definitely going to be tricky. So, yeah, I think X might be the worst one. Steve is asking, have you played Nicodemus? Thoughts? I haven't yet. I don't know what's going on, but there's a lot of Bruno Catala games, who is the designer of this, that have come out and I haven't seen yet. And I got to get this one. Nicodemus is a 2-player version of Imaginarium. So I haven't seen that yet. I want to get the new Sobek for 2 players. Where is that? It's been out. I just keep seeing pictures of French people playing it. What's up? S'il vous plaît, send me a copy. So there's that one. He did this little biking game, Velonimo, I think it's called. That looks like a cool ladder climbing kind of game. I can't find it anywhere. So no, I'm disappointed. I'm sad inside where my emotions live. Because I can't get my Catala fix. We'll see. It might show up. All right, let me see if I can help you here, Daniel, or maybe the group can help. I want to make sure that I'm playing Marvel United correctly. This is the Marvel United hotline now. Let's do it. Do you play actions in order or in any order? Example, punch, move. Do I have to punch then move, or can I move then punch? Okay, I can definitely answer this. If a card shows you symbols across the bottom, like move, punch, you can do that stuff and the stuff of the last player across the bottom in whatever order you want to. You just have a little pool of actions that you can, imaginary pool of actions, and you can just be like, I'm going to move first, then I'm going to punch, and then with your leftover move, I'm going to move again. You can move, punch. You can do this in whatever order you want to, okay? Thank you for calling. What? Describe your ideal chorizo. I don't know. A tasty one, man. I don't know. I do make. I was over at my mother's over the weekend, and one of my favorite dishes that she makes is yellow rice with sausage in it. It's so good. And now I make my own. But I've actually the sausage that she gets, funny enough, called Garcia. That's the brand. I just don't like as much as the stuff I get now. And while it was very tasty, I still prefer the one I get now, and it's just like it's like a kielbasa sausage kind of thing is what I get now. It's very good, garlicky, tasty, very firm. So, but I don't know how to describe it. The chorizo, I don't know, chorizo. All right. Yeah, I guess that's the newest thing from Days of Wonder is those the Ticket to Ride trains, the pink ones, supporting cancer, right? That's the newest thing. Nick says, other than piano, why would you assume piano? That's weird. I guess you just don't want me to mention piano. Other than piano, what musical instrument would you like to learn? Guitar, I guess. Guitar is cool. The really obvious ones. Guitar and piano. I would actually go with piano first. Maybe that's why you don't want me to say, because piano is I can do a lot with that, right? But guitar after that, for sure, would be sweet. Be all suave. Do a little finger picking. Bing, 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 bing. All right, let's see. There we go, Ryan. Playing Arkham Horror LCG for Halloween. That's a good call. All right. Dude Mike 8 says, have you played Blood on the Clock Tower? I have not. You know why? Because I don't think it's out yet. Which is crazy. Antoine says, do the disproportionately long legs in Bad Company not bug you? Technically, I think it's disproportionately long torso as you build people up. No, it's hilarious. I don't care. No, the game has a real good sense of silliness. Again, the gameplay is robust, but it's many aspects in it are just silly, and it does not bother me in that one. No, you'd think something like that would bother me, so good call, but no, I'm good with it. All right. All right. Yusuf, I think that's how you say your name. If I'm wrong, I apologize. Says around how many hours of board games do you play during the week? During the week, yeah, the whole week. I'm assuming you just mean weekly. Um, Depends. A lot of it is on the weekends sometimes because I need to catch up for work. It's a hard number. It's gonna change week to week. Like right now, as I was saying, I'm looking at. I got a couple of. Oh my goodness! I just realized I wasn't plugged in. Y'all almost just lost your Z. That was close. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, I have a few games in front of me now that are campaign games, and those are going to be very demanding. So there's going to be a lot of playing those games, just trying to claw my way through enough content where I'm comfortable talking about it. I don't need to finish it necessarily for me to feel comfortable talking about it. I'm not going to spoil the end anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? But I got to play enough to say it's consistent, not, has its ups and downs, gets too complicated, gets too easy, whatever. So it's going to be quite a few hours. As far as a number, I don't know. I've never sat down and counted like, oh my gosh, I played this many hours of games this week. It's a solid amount. And again, they're usually for work just because I got to get stuff played so I can talk about it. Monica's asking, was it fun that Sam stopped by? Did it bring back some great memories of your previous work together? Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it was great to see him. He was very happy, I think, to be here. We had a lot of good laughs. Playing games together was fun. Yeah, Sam is a very fun guy. He's a great presence. You know, he's a funny guy. He's a good presence. I enjoyed having him around for sure. So that was good. It was good stuff. Ghost fighting treasure hunters for Halloween. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna throw it up right there. Vanessa gets it. Vanessa Garcia. I'm gonna assume that G stands for Garcia because you know what you're talking about. Wonderful. All right, let's see. This is interesting. Excuse me. Gatordev says when watching a play or a musical. Come on. Sorry, guys. Just a second. All right, so the question was. Whatever. Question was, when I'm watching a play or a musical, can you or do you turn off your behind the scenes knowledge to enjoy it as a regular audience member would? Yes and no. I like to try to do that. For me, it's more of a. It sounds so. It's hard to talk about this without sounding pretentious, unfortunately. But for me, spectacle is easy. It's easy for it to wow me because I think technical work, you know, stagecraft is mind blowing, and I'm not good at it. I mean, I did it, but it's not my forte by any means. It's more about performance, I think, for me. If I'm watching a performance, whether it be on stage or you know, I'm watching a TV show or whatever, those people are usually insanely good, and so that goes away, and I don't really have to worry about it. But if I see something that's a little bit weak, then that part of my brain does kick in a little bit and goes like, I don't think I would have done that way. So usually it's not too bad. And of course, since I haven't done anything stage related or acting related in a while, the longer it's been since I've done it, the more that sort of shuts up in the back of my head. I cannot deal with you right now. All right, let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Fab. I don't know what that is. Candy corn is great, says Nick. Yeah, baby. That's interesting. Do you think taxing, in quotes, is crucial in game design? Or can it be done without, i.e., feeding people paying more when you get richer, losing VP at the end of the game, etc. I think if you find a way to do it in a thematic sense, then it's fine, right? Like, for example, in a game in which I'm playing in a post-apocalyptic world, and the more my things break down as I use them, you could see that as a form of taxing, and by your definition here, I think that's fantastic. And I won't see it as a gamey thing necessarily, likely, right? Because I'll be like, well, yeah, I'm out here racing in my dune buggy or whatever. I'm really pushing it. It's wear and tear. It's going to break down. The problem is not whether the game uses this idea of taxing, it's whether it's very blatant and whether it merely feels like the designers came up with nothing better to pull back a leader or give someone who's running, who's falling behind a leg up, rather than every round, at the end of the round, whoever made the most points loses 10 and the next place loses 6. It's like, okay, I get that. That's real world, I guess, in some ways, but you didn't find a thematic reason really to put it in the game. I think that's kind of where I'm at with that. I wish that, my hope is that it is somehow tied into what's going on in the game. Chris says candy corn is abysmal. He's wrong. Monica's asking if any songs get stuck in my brain due to a game and you have to hum the song while you play the game. Monica, you have not played a game with me because that happens all the time. So, yeah, that is quite a common occurrence. That happens around here quite a bit, actually, and I love it. I think it's great. This is an interesting thing. What do you think of a top 10 decks of cards from the Zee collection video? I think it's cool. I would love. I mean, I like that idea. I like to do it, but I don't think anybody would. I think very few people would be interested. I like the topic and the idea. This might not be the right place in which to do it. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm trying to get a food delivery and they want to get a hold of me because, of course, something wasn't available from this place. You know what? Pick anything else. Pick anything else. I don't care. No one's there. Da-da-da. Let's find some good questions. All right, I will keep the beard. Top 10 list best characters of Mr. Jack. There's only like 10 characters in the whole thing, including the expansion. There's only, 12 maybe? That's almost every character. I have to have enough to exclude to make something like that, you know? That'd be like top 10 months of the year. Sorry, February, you're short. Let's see, what do we got here? Do you speak Spanish or other languages? I do speak Spanish, yes. So what is your favorite game of all time now? Well, last time I did the top 100 or top 100 games of all time list, it was 51st State. Is it still that? You'll have to wait and find out when we do it again. You can take that as the final time I said it, so you can go with that, okay? You can go with that, or you can go with that. Kabuki Kid is here. Hello, hello. Okay, let's see. What do we got? I'm skipping some stuff. That's a good cheat. Z for Hidden Games X, maybe include games that end with X. Just games that have an X anywhere. That would work. That'll get me to 5 games, no problem. Alright, so there's somebody here who was throwing up some Q games. Queen Domino, Quest for El Dorado. Both wonderful games. Neither one on Unsung Gem. Those are very well known. Award winners. Current video game love? I talked about this a little bit. Actually, a current video game love, I don't have one. I haven't picked up a controller in a while because I've been busy with the board gaming stuff. So, none. All right, everybody, let's see. Da-da-da, let's see, I'm looking. I have not played Star Wars Rebellion, so I do not have an opinion on that. I probably would like it, actually. It's one I'd like to play, but I have not. I like this idea. If you were to make a pandemic system game, what theme or setting would you use? Something sci-fi is, I think, what I would like. I tend to like sci-fi much more than fantasy, for sure, and a little more than real-world settings. So maybe something futuristic, uh, just a futuristic world, maybe another just place. Maybe it could be about space travel. You know, maybe the board is planetary systems instead of, or planets instead of geography in the traditional sense. So that would be cool. All right, let's see. Kabuki Kid says there's exactly one brand of candy corn that is actually good. All others are trash. You can't just say that, man. What is the brand? Here we go. It's going to be like Lamborghini candy corn. I do not want Lovecraftian horror in my movies. I will no. Kabuki Kid is saying to watch The Empty Man. No, that sounds scary. I like to read horror. I like those kinds of books. And I like to play horror board games. I don't want to watch horror. That's horrific. The point is, I'm not about them jump scares. Pass. Look at this trash. Mike also thinks candy corn is trash. Come on, man. I don't know. It gets a bad rap. Candy corn is okay. It's not great. I'm not saying invest in the corn, the candy corn. But I don't think it's that bad. Shut up. Ooh, Subterra 2. I can't wait for that. I should be getting a copy. But I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it's just really delayed or what happened. I don't know, we'll see what's going on with that one, but I cannot wait. That's one game I'm really looking forward to showing up at some point. I really like the first one. The second one seems distinct and interesting enough that I'm excited, quite excited about it. All right. Michael G's asking how much I've played Shipwreck Arcana, how often do I win? It's been a long time since I played. It was one I would bring to conventions there for a while. By conventions, I mean like, Death Tower things or something about playing games, not Gen Con. And I think the win ratio is really high. I think the game is fairly easy, if I'm not mistaken. And again, if you keep losing, sorry, maybe I was doing something wrong. But I think it's not a very hard game to win. I think usually we did win. I was teaching it a lot, too. How was the Foundation show? I love Asimov. I watched 1.5 episodes and then checked out. I wasn't loving it. I was really hoping I would love it. I didn't. We'll see. Maybe if I'm particularly bored, once I have a few more, I might try again. I've got too many other things I want to watch right now. Okay, hold on now. Hold on. Candy corn's way better than Dots and Twizzlers. Dots? Yes. That's not a candy, my man. That's a dispensing system. Twizzlers? No. Twizzlers are way better than candy corn. Come on. This is insanity. Okay, here we go. See, this is what I'm talking about. People say candy corn, people like Mike DeLisio. Candy corn is trash, is what he said. And now we've got Jason here making a very good point. Choose one, candy corn or circus peanuts. Circus peanuts are trash. That's actual packaging material where they added a colored dye to it, right? Candy corn can loosely be called candy. Circus peanuts is not, I don't know how they still sell that stuff. That's horrible. It's like cotton candy that coagulated. It's just, ugh, terrible stuff. All right, a couple of final things here, folks. Chocobo Sam says, how's it going, my man? It's going, baby. It's good. Okay, here we go. Just to make sure that we, I forget the candy corn brand. That was good. Maybe it was Brax? I don't know how you say that. That one. So there you go, folks. Get some candy corn. The good kind. I'm going to get a bag of that stuff, leave it on Mike Delisio's desk. You will be quiet. Let's see. Hey, Z, what book or movie first got you into sci-fi? Throw that up. That's a good question to end on, so I will do so. There's like sci-fi that everybody knows, right? Like Star Wars, Star Trek, I guess, to a degree as well. There's that stuff that just sort of permeates. Everyone's aware of it. The one that got me into sci-fi because I read the book and I thought this is so cool was Rendezvous with Rama, which is Arthur C. Clarke? Yeah, that. I read that book and I thought this is such a cool world. It was so interesting. It felt like you were there exploring an alien spaceship that seemed abandoned. And it was so immersive to me, when I was reading this, that I think that one made me, if not necessarily a sci-fi fan, a much bigger sci-fi fan. I loved Rendezvous with Rama. So that's one of my favorite books. So there you go, everybody. Lots of candy corn chatter. Lots of sci-fi. Mike DeLisio was unfortunately in there. But you know what? It's all good. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time as well, folks. I think I'm going to get out of here. Do I have an outro? Oh my god. All right, here we go. I don't think I have an outro, so I'm going to play the intro again. And then I'm going, baby. I appreciate you all. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with me. And I'll see you on the next one.